Bob Pomelo here from doityourselftips.info, and we're going to be making this trellis. And so far what I've done is I've lined up with blocks, 6-inch blocks for spacing down in here, 6-inch blocks, and then every 6 inches putting a cross piece, and then I'll be bradding these together, and with an 1.25 inch brads. So what I got to do is I've got to make marks here and over here to make sure they line up. I haven't done that. It's just a preliminary look at it, see what it's going to look like. So I'll line those up and then show you when I start bradding it together. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm just cutting the cross pieces down to 41.5 inches. That was the shortest piece. All these pieces I'm making this trellis with came from remnant I had from other projects. So that's basically, I'm not cutting up anything new or new wood source of any kind, but I'm using what I have. So there's a couple here that I've already cut at 41.5 inches, and I will be cutting these even as well, just to or I may change the pattern and put these long ones up here. No, I'm going to cut them off. It's rectangular looking. Anyway, so I'm just cutting the cross pieces at 41.5 inches on my miter saw, and then from there, well, you can watch me for a second. I'm just going to cut them off. So I'm just using this one as my template, or measuring stick, if you want to call it, and then I'm just lining them all up, bringing them back, bringing the blade down, and get a good grip on it. And then there we go. Approximately 41.5 inches. These would be the side pieces. So now the next thing I will be doing is I'll be marking both the end pieces at 6-inch increments, and that's where the cross pieces are going to go. Make sure they line up parallel to these pieces here. So first I'm going to cut these off even across here, and then mark on both sides and brad tack the cross pieces. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking I marked 6 inches along the 2 outside boards here, using my square, and then I made marks on both sides. So when I lay these down opposite, I'll know where to line up my cross pieces. So that's what I'm doing now. Now I'm going to put this down on each side, and over here I've got my cross pieces cut, and I'll be putting my pieces opposite of each other, like so, using my spacers. So now I can line up my cross pieces. Now I know where they're going to line up. And I even everything down here, using that board as a reference over here. As you can see, there's the board as a reference. And I'll line up these pieces, these cross members, and brad nail them together. So I'll lay them down here, and I'm going to have to find the middle of this measurement, so I know where to line here on this middle board. That's the next thing I'll be doing. It's going to be 20 3/4 will be my center mark. So here's my center mark. Just by doing some measuring, I'll line up to the center board, and I'll mark all my pieces with the square, and then when I lay this out, I know exactly where they'll hit, where to line them up on this, so that they're even on both sides, the spacing. Get that mark across all of them. So line the ends up. And like so. Kind of get them close by just putting something on the end, pushing them together. There. Here's my mark I made before. Just make sure my square is going to reach across all of them. And just make a line. There. Now with that done, I have a center mark for all these boards, cross pieces that are going across, so I know how to line them up both so that they're even and have an aesthetic look to them. So what I do next is I'll space these out on my 6-inch marks on my side of the trellis and center it. So I thought I'd just show you this, a little bit of the nailing technique here. What I'm doing is I started here and I'm using 2 6-inch spacers here that I made, and I'm taking the cross piece. I got my center mark, so I'm centering it on this middle section here. Once I've got the 2 spacers in lined up, I'm taking 1/4 inch and 1/4 brad nails and just nailing them. Depending on how wide it is how many brads I'll put into that board. But 1 1/4 inch is really holding it. This is a mixture of pine and oak. So it's the brad nailer works good. It nails really nice if you got your pressure up on your compressor. And that's all I'm doing. And then I'll put the next piece in. This makes a nice climbing trellis. My wife has got a plant. She wanted me one last year, and it's still winter project time, so I'm making one. And she'll be pleased. And you just keep repeating this. Rinse and repeat all the way up to the trellis. So here is the trellis. It's done. Remember, I use 6-inch increments here. The distance between these vertical pieces, and 6 inches between the horizontal pieces. And I just cut some scrap wood blocks and made all the pieces. The spacing is all done in 6 inches, this way and that way, both ways, and that made it easy for me to keep a good uniform pattern throughout the trellis here. So here it is done. The bottom I painted green, kind kind of matched like the lawn. It's going to be set in the bottom, and then the top is stained brown with a stain. And right now it's laying here drying, and then it'll be out soon. Spring is here, but we gotta wait there's some more snow to melt. So, like this and every other project, this is Paul Pomelo from. You can find more projects like this and others at doityourselftips.info. Again, it's doityourselftips.info, and I'll see you in my next video.